Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Dr. ETV. My name is Shay Ryan Douglas. I'm from the Earth Heroes TV platform. Super excited to be joined by Dr. Espen, where we get to talk about money because there is so much changing in the world right now. There is a lot of shifts that we're experiencing right before our eyes, so many things that may seem uncertain, and there's a lot of unsurety right now in the world, particularly with a lot of businesses closing, a lot of jobs becoming unavailable. We find that this topic around money is very relevant because it's something that we need right now in order to survive. We have to go and buy food, we have to go and buy water, we have to have accommodation and somewhere to live. So it's important that we use this element of exchange to survive in the world. And I'm excited to have this conversation. Dr. Espen has some great experience in exploring how it's related to the energy center within the body. And we're going to really explore the cycles of the financial system. The economy right now in Australia has been doing bizarre things, but actually not that bizarre when you look through history and through empires and through the cycles, which Espen's going to really explore today, with the cycles of money through time, in which we can rely on to be sure and make decisions and be prepared for what's coming from these changes that we're experiencing. So thank you so much, Dr. E, for joining us, and really excited. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just let us know in the comment section where you're calling in from. Really excited to be sharing this with you so that we can together as a family, as a tribe, and as a friends, we can help each other elevate one another and move through these times with certainty, with awareness, so that we can see this as an opportunity for growth, that we can come out on the other side and be elevated and supported, that we can come through it together. So Dr. E, I'm really excited to dive into this with you. I mean, you often talk about money and the Manipura chakra. What would you suggest, is something that we need to be aware of with the economy right now?
Awesome. Great question, Shay. Thanks so much for guiding us today. I see all you guys are dialing in. We have somebody from Brisbane, Newcastle, Gold Coast, Cairns, Sunny Coast, Europe even. That's super cool. Guys, this is a really interesting topic. And one thing that I realized many years ago, growing up in a household where money was really scarce, was that it's our emotional connection to money and our relationship to money that drives either money into our lives or pushes money away. And I'll say that one more time. It's our unconscious nuances, our unconscious thought patterns, indoctrinations, behaviors, and emotions that are connected to this asset, to this means of exchange, which we call money, which is currently known as a fiat currency, which is going to be changing real soon. That will either push money away or pull money in. We know that the law of attraction is real. We understand that the law of attraction is not just based on the thought or the intention that we place, but also the emotion that we feel. You might want to write this down. The thought and the intention, such as I want to make $1 million this year, is the masculine force. In the law of duality, there's a masculine and a feminine. There's an electro and a magnetic field. We're an electromagnetic being. The earth is an electromagnetic being as well. The problem is most of us are trying to manifest money with only the thought, which is the masculine. And without the positive and the negative in the battery, you don't have power. So you don't have financial power unless you can understand that you need to have coherence between the thought or the intention of I want to make $1 million, or I want to make 10,000 this month, or I want to become financially free, or whatever, and the emotion. And here's the key, write this one down. Emotion equals the magnet. And what does a magnet do? It draws things in, right? So if your emotion is, oh my gosh, I'm struggling right now with I don't have enough money, I don't know if my family's going to be safe, I don't know what's going to happen. I understand that that's possible for us to be there, and there's a potential reason for it. But the consciousness behind this is that we have to make the shift. We have to make the shift away from a stress-based reality, a stress-based, a lack and scarcity and fear-based relationship with money, into an abundant, beautiful, coherent relationship with money. So what I'm going to do for you today, guys, is actually going to take you through the history of money and show you what the current fiat system, which is the artificial money system that we're currently in, how it operates and how it works. And then the next thing that you and I can do is then to look at what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. Because I'm on the board here, and I'll give you the complete, I think, an hour and a half lecture on everything financially. If you wish to do so, you can just go into Earth Heroes TV and subscribe. It's $20 a month. thousands of videos, including all of the ones that on this channel, which is Dr. ETV, of which there is the lecture there called Unmasking the Money Matrix, where I take you through the entire system as to what's happened in history, where we are right now in history, what's coming in the next 2-3 years, because this has been repeating itself without fail for over 200 years, and it's repeating itself every 8 to 11 years. Okay, guys? So this has been without fail for 200 years, and it's still happening to this day over and over again. So if you don't know that, then you can't prepare for what's coming. So we can forecast our financial future, if you will. So hop into Dr. ETV and subscribe. I think you get 7 days for free there. If you hop on in, you can watch that video and share it with your friends, because right now we're in a pivotal shift. Not only is consciousness shifting, but our financial situation is certainly shifting. Like Shay so beautifully said, so many people have changed of jobs. So many people right now saying, I can't continue to go to my job because of these certain requirements that are coming in. This major shift to the government. People can't go to their local cafe because, cafes are closed, whatever. So the point that I'm making here is that step number one to understand is that everything is energy. You push energy away or pull energy in, depending on your state and vibration. Shay, are you able to mute yourself where you are? Thanks, bro. So the first thing that is important to understand is that the energy that we feel when it comes to money is either going to push money away or pull money into your life. If you feel scarcity, procrastination, hesitation, frustration, desperation, and depression around money, you're going to be pushing money away. If you can feel abundance, then you're going to draw money into your life. So it's possible to do so. In the 3-day Quantum Advanced event, we go through this in absolute detail. And I actually help you remove the number one block in the area of life or of finances. Okay. So let's get started. This is exciting. If you want to learn more, again, go to Dr. ETV, subscribe, and actually go through the entire lecture. First things first. In 1971, President Nixon in America detached the dollar from what's known as the gold standard. So up until 1971, you couldn't print much more money than what you had in gold. Now, this is only fair because you can't say to someone, I want to borrow, $1 million, but I have no means to pay it back. So you have to have $1 million in gold in order to borrow $1 million. The government had to have actual money in order to have to print more money. Then President Nixon decided we're just going to scrap that. So now that was, of course, the start of quantitative easing. If you guys don't know what quantitative easing is, again, go in and watch the video that I've done. And before we go any further, some of you may not know some of the work that we've done. Firstly, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a physician. I'm a teacher, qualified teacher, and I'm a researcher and scientist. And I've studied this thing called money for a long time because I wanted to be financially independent. And one thing that I found, which is really interesting, is that right now we're going through this major shift financially. Some of the things that we've done, just to give you some context, I founded my second company in 2011 as a co-founder of the Bonfire Health Group. We were able to scale from 1 startup to 10 multidisciplinary health clinics. We had 75 staff. 4 of the companies hit 7 figures in under 6 years. And now run this company, the educational company here now, and we've done some okay things financially. We've got a diverse I guess you call it investment portfolio across what we call conscious investing. And conscious investing right now is very different to the way things used to be in the past. So tag along, enjoy. If you like it, please tag your friends and family. And for those who could do with some more abundance of finances in their lives, could be a good thing to watch. You guys ready? Here we go. Everything flows in season. We live in a cyclical universe. What that means is that you can be pretty sure that when you wake up tomorrow, the sun's going to be up. And when you go to bed tonight, the sun's going to be down. You can say the sun's not going to come up, but the sun's still going to come up. You can say that right now in Australia, we're in the middle of winter, and I don't want summer to arrive, but no matter what you say, summer is going to arrive. So there are 4 seasons, and these seasons are the same in the financial sector as it is in on the planet, if you will. So this is what we call the financial seasons. There is summer, autumn, winter, and spring. In summer, green is growth. So when we are in a summer economy, it means that cash is booming. What does a tree do? What does plant life do in summer? It grows, right? So we have growth here, or expansion, if you will, and we have, well, contraction here, and stress and fear. So this is greed and excitement, stress and fear. Okay, so these 4 seasons will continue. So we have growth, expansion, and the opposite of growth, call it contraction. This is over speculation, under speculation, the peak of the economy, the crash of the economy, or the bottom of the economy. Again, if you didn't catch it the first time, from summer through autumn, winter, back to spring, one full economic cycle is 8 to 11 years. Today I'm going to take you back 40 years, and I'm going to show you everything, the entire cycle, 40 years. I won't do 200 because 40 is enough to prove the point. But when you get this, let's put it this way. If I knew this before COVID hit, it would have saved me well over $2 million. Well over $2 million. Hard cash. So this, I dare to say this presentation right now is worth some coin, because most people have no idea what's coming. Before I go any further, did you know that right now, during this pandemic, we have experienced the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of our species? That right now, in the middle of the pandemic, we've experienced the greatest shift of money from the poor to the rich in the history of our planet. So some of you might be wondering, is this COVID thing like a smokescreen for something else going on? What I can tell you is that some people have a really strong vested interest in what's going on right now, because it's been the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of our planet, from the poor to the rich. So something's not working right. What my intention is for today's presentation is to prepare you for what's coming, so you can capitalize. You can capitalize on what's coming. Okay. So from summer to winter, back to summer, 8 to 11 years. Okay. From summer to winter, write this down, 3 years. So let me take you through some of the fundamentals here of the way this works. If you want to do this, you can watch this over and over again. If I was you, I would write this down, and I would actually go and look at and watch the full presentation on EHTV, on Dr. ETV, and actually write down this as I go along, because some of us literally cannot afford to not to get this. The seasonal economic cycle of the world. We have 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. So this is we're looking at a clock, okay? So we're looking at seasons in a form of a clock. We have the peak of the economy here at 11 and 12, and as soon as it goes past 12, it goes into 1, we have a contraction of the economy, okay? This is the peak of the economy. This is the worst part of the economy. I want you to write this down. Number 1, 7, and 11. 1, 7, and 11. 1, 7, 11 equals time to take action. This is the peak of the economy, and it's the 12 o'clock is right before the crash. So what do you want to do at 11 o'clock? Sell your business. If it's relevant to you, lay off the workers. Stop spending money. Start hibernating somewhat, or at least be smart about your cash flow. You don't scale here when you know this is coming. You don't buy property here when this is coming. Do you? Okay. This is arbitrage, right? If you don't know what arbitrage is, go and research that. Arbitrage is when you capitalize on the market and you buy property when it's cheap, and you sell it when it's worth a lot. Most people are buying property right now. It's the wrong time to buy property. And not financial advice, but you don't want to be purchasing property because right now in Queensland, it's overinflated. But I get it. Like sometimes you just like stuff it. I want to get out of the city. I'm not going to be locked down in an apartment block. I want to be like I am right now. When I moved from a five-star hotel I was living in Gold Coast, I moved out to acreage. Okay, so I'm on acreage right now with my own water, with my own everything. Why? Because I know what's happening in the world and know what's coming. I'm not going to be locked down in a small apartment. Make sense? So I'm not giving financial advice, but what I am saying is When you understand this, you can prepare for what's coming. Arbitrage is capitalizing on the market, buying when the price is low, selling when the price is high. That's just smart. Okay. So if you're looking here at 12 o'clock, peak of the economy, here, this is the expansion of the economy. What you can see here is three primary emotions, and I'll come back to those soon. There are three primary emotions, and these three primary emotions are the main emotions that are the drivers of the decisions in economies. Because people don't buy on logic, they buy on emotion. So we have the three emotions, which is fear. Fear is what happens when we are in a contracted economy. In an economy like right now, we're in a fear-based economy. Most people don't make decisions right now based on abundance and joy, unless you're in a very good financial position. Most people right now are making decisions based on fear, right? So the first emotion that plays a direct effect on this is fear. The second thing is what's called indecision. So after a period of fear comes a period of indecision, where people don't know what to do. They don't know what choices to make, and so they're kind of just like idling. Okay, so we have fear, indecision, and the last one, of course, is greed. Over speculation. Everyone's an expert, everyone's investing, everyone's giving advice. So the point that I'm making here is that three primary emotions. Right now, you might want to do an energy audit of yourself and ask yourself, where am I right now in my financial situation? Am I in fear? Am I in indecision, sitting on the fence? Or am I in greed, as in I'm doing really well, I'm scaling, I'm growing? Okay, most people will be here. Now, the interesting thing that most people didn't know is, and I didn't know this either, this is new to me. I've learned this and I've been practicing and studying this with a lot of devotion since COVID hit. Okay, so let's say the last 2 years. I didn't know that the peak of the economy was 2019 to 2020, to the start of 2020. That was booming. You know what I did at that point? My companies were doing great. One of the companies, the educational company, we do live events and all that sort of stuff. I was scaling. I thought to myself, let's scale, let's go big. And so I spent a lot of money scaling the company here for live events. And then COVID hits and they're putting us all into lockdown. No one's doing live events. And so I reinvented the entire business model. We're back, we're booming. Now we can take on the entire world because we're virtual. But that was only because of my opportunity to pivot and I would say my level of awareness and some help that I had from my mentors and coaches. But if I knew this just before COVID hit, I would have not expanded and blown my cash. I would have saved it. Okay. So I'm going to come back to where we are right now and what you can do to prepare. So this cross, this blue cross that you can see here, this is COVID. Okay. So the economy is peaking. It's an expansive economy. Then suddenly COVID hit, contraction. Greatest transfer of wealth in the history of our species, from the poor to the big giants, the big guys. Wonder why that's happening. Okay, I can tell you what's going to come according to the cycles, according to the last 200 years of history. I can't guarantee it, but it's been repeating itself for 200 years. So you can pretty much prepare yourself for what's coming. And guess what? I think the big guys in the world, what they're doing, the economy is crashing. When the whole thing crashes, what do? They go in and they buy it all up. So why don't you prepare yourself for the same? And this is why in the program that we do, the 4-month coaching program that I teach you this in a lot of detail. So you can actually capitalize, learn to save cash, invest as smart, and prepare for what's coming. So when the market crashes, you're not all in the fiat system. Let's put it this way. The current debt to GDP ratio in America, if you look at what's driving the economy, is over 110%. What this means is that there is so much debt, and in Australia too. If Australia continues the way it's going, we're looking at a national debt of over 700 billion next year. Okay, what is it? I think it was like 450 just before COVID. So we racked up almost the same amount of debt in 2 years as we've had in how many decades? Right? So don't quote me on this. The numbers vary a little bit, but we're on track for 700 billion in national debt. The economy in this country is shot. So either way, with what's happening now with quantitative easing and printing more money and stimulus happen, all these things happening from America through to Australia, we're literally blowing up the balloon and the bubble's going to pop. It is inevitable. You can't have an economy that is, in my opinion, based on how do I say this without getting in trouble? I think my personal opinion is the entire economy is a Ponzi scheme. Okay, because you can lend money when there's no money in the bank. If every person went to the bank to take their cash out, 8% of the population would be able to take their cash out. The rest of the people will go, no money for you, sorry, mate. So you got to be aware of what money is, and particularly what fiat money is, because the only thing that holds currency at the moment in terms of the fake money or the fiat money, this dollar, is faith and trust. The only reason why it's worth something is because you believe you can go to the coffee shop and buy a coffee for it or purchase a house for it. If suddenly the coffee shop says, no, I'm not accepting that, what is it worth? Nada. It's not like this thing here, which is gold. This is worth something. This little coin is worth $2,500. We call it God's money. Precious metals is always going to be worth something, and commodities are going to be worth something. But there's a change coming, and so this is the purpose of having this conversation. Quantitative easing. They've been pumping trillions and trillions into the economy. The World Banks, Brussels, the Federal Reserve in America. Inevitably, the whole thing's going to come down. Okay, so in the coaching program, we teach you about this conscious or quantum investment portfolio, where we talk about the fundamentals. I'll give you a couple of guidelines. I won't give away too much because this takes a bit of energy and understanding to implement. Some of the things that I would look at, here's the golden nugget. Are you guys ready? Some of the things that I would look at if I was you is precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, other things. Right now, look at what the big guys are doing. Are they not? Some of the richest people in the world are buying up a lot of gold and silver. And not just gold and silver, precious metals, buying them and putting them in your safe, but gold and silver mines, particularly the silver mines, could be a good idea. Cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance. If you're not in crypto yet, it's not too late. My ROI on crypto has been phenomenal. Some of the coins we purchased at $300 is now $4,500. Okay, so that's two for you there. And in the property market, this is also really important to understand, because when the crash comes, if you're prepared, if you've got savings, you might be able to go and purchase a block of land with a house for a quarter of what it is now. Go back and look at history and see how these things have been happening. And also really important to understand, there's a difference between an asset and a liability. So certain things in your life right now is a liability. You can look at that and channel that money in conscious ways. So let's go. Is this useful so far, guys? Again, FIG. There's three primary emotions. Can you remember what they are? That drive your decisions when it comes to anything related to finances. Fear, indecision, and greed. They're the three primal traits of human emotion in the economy. These are really important to understand, because you're going to make decisions based on either one of these emotions. So let me take you through the history of the economy and basically prove to you what I've been saying now. And then hop on into Dr. EHTV, subscribe there. And if you have any questions, comment in this chat. I'll let you know about the coaching program coming up. It starts on the 22nd of September. It's called the Quantum Accelerator Program. It's a 4-month breathwork meditation, a life mastery and business mastery coaching program. These are the last recessions all the way back to 1974. Okay. And if you want to go back and look it up, look it up. This is what we call the recessions, which is, again, you might remember, these are the winter seasons when there's a crash of the economy. So we had a recession or a crash of the economy, or a contraction, if you will, of the economy from 1974 to 1977, from 1982 to 1985, from 1990 to 1994, from 2000 to 2002, from 2008 to 2011. Remember what that one was? The global financial crisis. And then the next one is from 2020 to when? Let's test this theory. I said before that it was 8 to 11 years, right? For an entire cycle. 1974 to 1982, how many years? You see? 1982 to 1990. 1990 to 2000. 10 years, right? 2000 to 2008. 8 years. You're with me? 2008 to 2012, what? 12 years. You see? From summer to summer, 8 to 11 years. Now check this out. From summer, from the peak in the economy to the crash either a contraction, recession, or a depression. How many years? 1974 to 77, 3 years. 82 to 85, 3 years. 1990, 1994, what? 4 years. 2000, 2002, 2 years. 08 to 11, 3 years. 2020, the start. Remember, when we looked here, let me show you this again. Peak of the economy, 11 o'clock, expansion, growth. 2019 to the start of 2020. Okay, COVID, 2020. 2020, how long? From the start of the reduction and contraction of the fear-based economy until we crash. 3 years. 3 effing years. If you, goosebumps, if you grasp what I'm saying right now, you can forecast our financial future. I just went back to the 1970s and proved the entire thing. This goes back 200 years. What I'm giving you is the tool that I wish someone gave me 2 years ago. Okay? And if you want to learn how to actually capitalize on this, there is a system that stands the test of time. Okay? Because right now the question is, what time is it on the clock? Where are we? COVID. Maybe we're here. 3 o'clock. What's going to happen? My belief, and don't take this as anything but my belief, I believe we're heading into the greatest depression. I, in fact, think we're heading into a complete collapse of the current economy. But like anything in life, what do we experience? Death and rebirth. In the summer, green, everything booming, life comes out, the flower blooms. You with me? In winter, it's barren. It's cold, it's dry, it's dark. Same with the economy. What comes after winter? Spring, then summer. So what I'd suggest is this. Go to Dr. EHTV and watch the full presentation. Please share this with as many people as you can. Was this useful, by the way? For those of you watching live, can I get a comment? Let me know if you have any questions. For those of you watching the recording, please share this with as many people as you can. Because right now, I believe I've been giving you a forecast to what might be coming. I think we're heading for the greatest depression in our financial history. You go back all the way back to the Romans. There's a crash of the economy when the government is too hungry for power and they start to suppress the people. Okay, this is what I believe is happening right now. So what's coming next is either a complete disaster or one of the greatest things that can happen. Why? Again, arbitrage. For those who are smart, for those who have prepared, for those who have actually harvested and collected your nuts right now, if you're a squirrel and you're smart, you invest your money in the right ways, you find the right mentors to capitalize on what's coming, to reduce your expenses, to save your cash, and just be smart, guys, because an article I read recently, and I'm not going to say this is 100% accurate because I haven't verified it, but it's a really interesting thing to be aware of. An article I read recently is that Australia seems to be or have already done what Greece, the country of Greece, did some time ago, where they passed a law that if the government was or the country was in a bad financial situation, they could actually take their citizens' money. If you go back and watch the history, what did they do in Greece? They emptied the bank accounts of their civilians because the country ran out of money. Don't believe me? Go and look it up. What would happen if you built up a nest egg of 300,000, 3 million, whatever, and suddenly gone? My best suggestion, and this is not financial advice, would be not to keep all your cash in the bank, because if everyone goes to the bank to get their cash out, when there suddenly is a crash, a collapse, a contraction, or depression, you're not going to get your cash out. Only 8% of people, 8 out of 100 people will get their cash out. So cash, fiat currency is only worth what you can trade it for. So keep some fiat currency, perhaps gold and silver, asset classes, decentralized finance or cryptocurrencies, and something else that stores good value is a good idea. Now, when you get the understanding of this, what part of my portfolio is at the moment is that I've got multiple streams of assets. I'm trading in Forex. I'm trading in so many cool different things, scaling different companies, helping people make money. The way I make money is to help people make money. And the coolest thing then is that I'm prepared. And what I'm doing now is I'm waiting. So should the economy crash, I'm okay in crypto. I'm okay in gold and silver. I'm okay in other currencies as well. But here's the key. I know winter's coming. You with me? I know winter's coming. So in winter, I can actually pick up and buy the assets that are then a house for $1 million, maybe worth 150 grand, 250, maybe less. Back in the history, how cool is this? How crazy is this? If you go back and look at what they did in the Netherlands, a tulip, the flower, a tulip, was so valuable that you could trade a house for a flower. It sounds absurd. Go and look it up. If suddenly the money that we have in terms of fiat currency, fake money, the dollar bill is worth nada, or the house that you live in now that you bought for $1 million is worth 200,000, firstly, don't sell it. Secondly, what if you could have money in the bank and buy up 2 or 3 more houses? Or at least be financially safe. The average millionaire in Australia has been bankrupt several times and has an average of 4 to 6 different streams of income. If you have one stream of income right now and you rely on the government, I'm just going to say, at least we had this conversation. Okay, it's time to prepare ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way we can forecast our financial future. This is an opportunity for us to understand the economic cycles. It's understanding that emotion drives decision in the financial world. We've gone back over longer, got back to the 1970s, and we've looked at this and we understand now, we've gone back over 40 years, we've understood now that the economy works in seasons. I think we're going to see a complete collapse of the economy. I think they're going to try and push a new global economy. And I personally think that DeFi, decentralized finance, including cryptocurrencies and blockchain, is going to be one of the ways where you can be smart. Again, not financial advice, but diversify your portfolio. If this has been useful, thank you for sharing, for liking, and hop on into Dr. EHTV, watch the full presentation, take notes, and if you want to do the work with us, drop us an email, go to drespen.com and join the program starting on the 22nd so I can coach you for 4 months. And this is one of the 8 areas of life that we'll be touching on as well. Hope this has been useful, guys. Thank you so much. Anything you want to add, Shay?
So powerful, brother. Thanks for sharing, man. I love it. Yeah, appreciate you and sharing this with the world. I think it's vitally important for each of us to take responsibility for all areas of our life, and so particularly the finances. There's lots coming, lots to change, and lots happening. And I appreciate your dedication to this work, the research, and sharing this with the world, with the people, because we, the people, will make the change. We, the people, will take responsibility into our own hands and support one another and take right steps to see this as an opportunity. So I appreciate you, Dr. E. Thanks again for you guys who are watching. Please share this video if you found it useful as well. And we look forward to seeing you next week, where we've got a couple of really exciting interviews coming up on Dr. EHTV.
Oh, yeah.
See you soon, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Shay. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.